Conspiracy theories, they make great campfire stories and fuel endless debates. But most of the time, they're dismissed as the wild imaginations of skeptics. But what if some of these conspiracies weren't just theories? What if they turned out to be shockingly true? From secret government experiments to corporate cover-ups that shaped history, the truth behind these once dismissed ideas is stranger than fiction. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into some of the craziest conspiracy theories that the world thought were myths, but turned out to be chillingly real. Number 1. Government secrets revealed. Let's start with the big players. Government secrets that sound like wild conspiracy theories, but are 100% true. These stories prove that sometimes the truth really is stranger than fiction. First up, MK Ultra. This was a top-secret CIA program in the 1950s and 60s, where the government experimented with mind control using drugs like LSD. The goal, to see if they could manipulate people's thoughts and behaviors, especially for espionage purposes. While it sounds like the plot of a sci-fi movie, declassified documents revealed the shocking reality of these experiments, including unethical testing on unsuspecting subjects. Next, we have the Tuskegee syphilis study. For over 40 years, the U.S. government conducted a study on African American men with syphilis. But here's the kicker. They never told the participants they had the disease and withheld treatment to observe the effects. This horrifying deception caused widespread outrage when it was exposed and remains a dark stain on medical ethics. And then there's Project Sunshine. If you thought stealing body parts for experiments was a conspiracy theorist's fever dream, think again. In the 1950s, the government secretly collected tissue samples from deceased individuals, including children, for nuclear radiation research. Families were often not informed, making it as macabre as it sounds. These aren't just theories, they're documented truths, and they make you wonder what else has been kept hidden from us. Number 2, corporate cover-ups. Let's shift gears to the corporate world, where profit often trumps ethics. These conspiracies might sound like the stuff of courtroom dramas, but they're all too real. First, the big tobacco cover-up. For decades, tobacco companies knew their products caused cancer and other deadly diseases, but instead of coming clean, they launched campaigns to downplay the risks and mislead the public. Internal documents later revealed their shocking disregard for public health, exposing just how far they were willing to go to protect their profits. Next, we have the Ford Pinto scandal. In the 1970s, Ford released the Pinto, a car with a major safety flaw. Its fuel tank was prone to explosions and rear-end collisions. Even worse, Ford knew about the defect, but decided it would be cheaper to pay off potential lawsuits than to fix the problem. The result? Preventable injuries and deaths, all because of corporate greed. And then there's the Nestlé baby formula controversy. In the 1970s, Nestlé aggressively marketed infant formula to mothers in developing countries, often misleadingly claiming it was better than breastfeeding. Many mothers, lacking access to clean water to mix the formula, ended up feeding their babies unsafe and diluted formula, leading to malnutrition and illness. These corporate conspiracies remind us that big companies don't always play by the rules, and when they don't, the consequences can be devastating. Number 3, science meets conspiracy. Science is all about discovery and innovation, right? Well, not always. Sometimes the pursuit of knowledge crosses paths with secrecy, and the results can be downright shocking. First up is the FBI versus Albert Einstein. Imagine this. One of the greatest minds of the 20th century under government surveillance. It sounds like a bad spy movie, but it really happened. The FBI kept extensive files on Einstein, believing he might have communist sympathies. For decades, they spied on his activities, monitored his letters, and even bugged his house. Turns out, even genius wasn't above suspicion. Then there's the case of the sugar industry manipulation. Back in the 1960s, sugar companies secretly funded research to downplay the link between sugar consumption and heart disease. Instead, they shifted the blame onto dietary fats, shaping decades of nutritional guidelines. This conspiracy wasn't uncovered until the 21st century, leaving us to wonder how much influence industries have over trusted science. And let's not forget Operation Sea Spray. In 1950, the U.S. Navy conducted a bizarre experiment by releasing bacteria into the air over San Francisco to test biological warfare capabilities. They told no one, and later residents suffered unexplained illnesses. The government eventually admitted to the experiment, but only after decades of secrecy. These stories reveal how science, when shrouded in secrecy, can blur the line between discovery and deception. They also make you wonder what other scientific truths might have hidden motives behind them. Number 4, global intrigue. Now it's time to take these conspiracies global, because sometimes the wildest secrets don't just shape one country, they ripple across the entire world. First, let's talk about Operation Mockingbird. This was a CIA program that began in the 1940s, aiming to influence media outlets and journalists worldwide. The goal? To shape public perception and promote pro-American propaganda during the Cold War. At first, it sounded like paranoid speculation, but declassified documents later confirmed its existence. Turns out, the news wasn't always as unbiased as we'd like to believe. Then there's the Gulf of Tonkin incident. In 1964, the U.S. government claimed that North Vietnamese forces attacked American ships, which became the justification for escalating the Vietnam War. But years later, it was revealed that the incident was largely fabricated to gain public and congressional support. This false narrative led to one of the most controversial conflicts in modern history. Another chilling example is the Iran-Contra affair. During the 1980s, it was discovered that the U.S. government secretly sold arms to Iran despite an embargo, and used the profits to fund anti-communist rebels in Nicaragua. The conspiracy shocked the world and exposed the lengths governments would go to achieve their geopolitical goals. These global conspiracies show how deception can transcend borders, shaping history on an international scale. They remind us to question the narratives we're fed and to always search for the truth. So, what did we uncover? From secret government experiments to corporate deception and global intrigue, these conspiracies may have started as wild theories, but they ultimately proved to be disturbingly true. What's the takeaway? These stories remind us that truth really can be stranger than fiction. They challenge us to think critically, question authority, and never dismiss a theory outright. Because sometimes the unbelievable turns out to be undeniable. And here's the big question: what other secrets might still be hidden in plain sight? It's a fascinating and chilling thought to consider. Now it's your turn. Which of these conspiracies shocked you the most? Or are there others you've come across that turned out to be true? Let's hear your thoughts, and remember, stay curious, because history always has more surprises in store.